Hi there, coin enthusiasts and accidental treasure hunters. Imagine this: you're sifting through your couch cushions for spare change to buy that last minute coffee, and bam, hidden among the crumbs and forgotten receipts is a penny. But not just any penny, a penny worth $1.20 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, buckle up, because today, I'm going to tell you all about the 1987 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that's taking the coin world by storm. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just find yourself raiding your piggy banks, wallets, and maybe even your grandma's penny jar. Let's dive in. Now, I know what you're thinking: it's just a penny. What's so special about it? Well, here's the scoop. The 1987 Lincoln penny without a mint mark is a rarity due to a fascinating production error. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, so on the surface, this one might seem pretty ordinary. But here's where things get juicy. Some of these coins were struck with an exceptionally high level of detail and precision, making them stand out in terms of quality. These perfect pennies, as collectors call them, are the golden, or should I say copper, tickets. Over time, only a handful of these flawless coins have been discovered, which makes them extremely valuable. Okay, so why is this tiny piece of copper worth a small fortune? The answer lies in the trifecta of coin collecting: rarity, condition, and demand. The 1987 no-mint mark penny ticks all these boxes. First, it's rare. The production error didn't happen often, and even fewer coins survived in pristine condition. Second, condition is king in the coin world. The highest grade 1987 penny, a mint state 67, fetched a whopping $1.2 million at auction. Third, there's the demand. Coin collectors love a good underdog story, and this penny is exactly that: a small, unassuming coin that's now a superstar. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was helping my dad clean out his garage. You know, one of those "let's finally get rid of this junk" weekends. While digging through an old toolbox, we found a dusty jar filled with coins. Naturally, I got curious. As I was sorting through them, I spotted a penny that looked different. No mint mark, shiny as new, and oddly heavy for its size. Of course, I thought, this could be it. Long story short, it wasn't. But that moment sparked my interest in rare coins. And who knows? If you check your change, your story might have a much happier and richer ending. Now, if you're ready to go on your own treasure hunt, here's what to look for. If there's no little letter under the date, you're on the right track. Look for a coin that's clean, shiny, and free of scratches or dents. If you think you've found one, send it to a professional grading service to confirm its value. But let's be real: if you're like me, half the pennies you find are covered in mystery gunk or bent beyond recognition. If you find one that's even remotely shiny, treat it like gold. So, there you have it, the fascinating tale of the 1987 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Who knew a humble penny could pack such a punch? Now, here's my challenge to you: grab a handful of change and start looking. Who knows what treasures might be hiding in plain sight? And if you do find that $1 million penny, remember who sent you on this journey. Just kidding, but not really. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins worth big bucks, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips, stories, and strategies coming your way. And hey, share this video with a friend. You never know, they might have a treasure hiding in their pocket, too. Hey there, treasure hunters. What if I told you there's a penny out there worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million? Yeah, you heard me right, a single penny. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1997 D-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that's got collectors drooling and your piggy bank shaking in excitement. So grab your change jar, settle in, and let's see if you've got $1 million treasure sitting in your pocket. Alright, so let's start with the basics. The 1997 D penny was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark. Now, before you start hunting for every 1997 penny, let me clarify: not every single one of these is worth millions. Most of them? Worth exactly 1 cent. But there's a rare version, and that's where the magic and money comes in. You see, this $1 million penny isn't just any ordinary coin. It's a minting error that makes it so valuable. Coin collectors, or as I like to call them, treasure hunters with magnifying glasses, go wild for these errors. In this case, the 1997 D penny has a unique flaw that sets it apart. It might be a doubling in the design or an unusual strike, but when that rare error is found in perfect condition, bam. You've hit the jackpot. Now, let me share a little story. A couple of years ago, I was going through some old coins from my grandparents' collection. I didn't think much of it, just a fun way to spend an afternoon, right? But then, I stumbled upon a shiny 1997 D penny. My heart skipped a beat. Could it be the one? Spoiler alert, it wasn't. But for a moment, I was imagining myself rolling up to a car dealership and saying, "I'll take the sports car and I'll pay with a penny." So how can you tell if you've got the $1 million version? First, grab a magnifying glass and check for any doubling on the letters or unusual marks on the coin's surface. Next, check the condition. These rare pennies need to be in pristine condition, no scratches, dents, or signs of wear. If you think you found something special, get it graded by a professional. Trust me, it's worth the small fee if you're potentially sitting on a fortune. Now, let's talk about why someone would pay $1.3 million for this penny. It's all about rarity and demand. Collectors love a good story, and a rare minting error is like the holy grail of coin collecting. Plus, there's just something thrilling about owning a piece of history that's also worth more than your house. Here's a little insider tip: don't just check your pocket change. Look through old piggy banks, coin jars, and even under your couch cushions. You never know where a valuable coin might be hiding. And while you're at it, keep an eye out for other rare coins too. Who knows? You might just find a 1943 copper penny or a 1969 double-die penny lurking in the shadows. So, what's the takeaway here? That penny you've been ignoring in your car cup holder? It might just be your ticket to millionaire status. Don't let it slip away without a second glance. Coin collecting isn't just for hobbyists, it's for anyone who loves a good treasure hunt. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on spotting valuable coins, strategies for building your collection, and stories about how people turn pocket change into fortunes, hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you'll never miss another coin worth big money. Who knows? The next video might just help you uncover your own $1 million find. Hey there, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, this little thing couldn't possibly be worth more than a soda at a vending machine? Well, buckle up because today, we're diving into a coin that's anything but ordinary. It's the 1973 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, and guess what? It's worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million on the current market. Yes, you heard that right, $1.4 million. Now, before you start rating your couch cushions, let me tell you why this penny is so special, how you might spot one, and, oh yeah, how I had my own little penny drama that'll have you laughing, or cringing. Stick around because by the end of this video, you might just find out you've been sitting on a fortune all along. Alright, so what's the deal with the 1973 D penny? First, the D stands for the Denver Mint, where this particular batch was produced. Now, millions of these pennies were minted, so you're probably wondering why this one is worth a king's ransom. The answer? Errors in rarity. This penny has a unique die error, which means something went wrong during its production. Think of it as a factory mishap, but instead of a defective phone, you've got a defective penny that collectors are willing to pay millions for. The most common errors include double dies, off-center strikes, or even rare metal compositions. If it looks slightly off, like it had one too many coffees, you might be onto something. Any unusual patterns or misalignments? That's your first clue. A double die error will show repeated images on the lettering or Lincoln's profile. Now, let me share a quick story. A couple of years ago, I found an old jar of pennies at my grandma's house. I was bored, so I started sorting through them, not expecting much. Suddenly, I spotted a shiny 1973 penny with a D on it. My heart skipped a beat. I grabbed a magnifying glass and went full-on Sherlock Holmes. Was it the penny? Nope. Turned out it was just a regular penny someone polished for fun. But hey, I learned a lot about coins that day, and now, I always double-check my change. But back to business, if you've got one of these pennies, you're looking at a potential life changer. These coins have been auctioned off for as much as $1.4 million. Why so high? Because collectors love rarity, and these pennies are like the unicorns of the coin world. So, what's the takeaway here? Check your coins. Whether you're digging through old piggy banks, sorting through jars of loose change, or getting pennies back at the grocery store, you never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins worth big money, strategies for finding them, and maybe a few more personal mishaps along the way, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Hey there, coin enthusiasts. Imagine this: you're sifting through some loose change, maybe grabbing a soda at the gas station or cleaning out your car, and boom! You stumble across a plain old penny, except it's not just any penny. It's the 2015 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and guess what? This tiny little coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.5 million for a penny. Crazy, right? Stick around, because in today's video, we're diving deep into what makes this penny so valuable, how to spot it, and why you might already have one hiding in plain sight. And hey, don't forget to check your pockets while we chat. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 2015 Abraham Lincoln penny is part of the famous Lincoln cent series, but what makes this one so special is its lack of a mint mark. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't carry a mint mark, so that's not unusual. What is unusual is the unique combination of errors and circumstances that make this penny so rare and valuable. First, let's talk about minting errors. In 2015, a small batch of Lincoln pennies had slight imperfections, things like doubled die strikes, off-center designs, or unusual luster. Collectors go bananas for these quirks because they make the coin one of a kind. It's like finding a Picasso sketch on a coffee shop napkin: unexpected, rare, and insanely valuable. And now, here's a relatable story to spice things up. A buddy of mine, I'll call him Dave, found one of these pennies completely by accident. He's not a coin collector. In fact, he's the guy who uses spare change to wedge under a wobbly table leg. But one day, Dave's at the store, counting out pennies to avoid breaking a $20 bill, classic Dave move, and the cashier suddenly gasps, "Do you know what you have there?" Long story short, that random penny ended up paying off Dave's car loan. True story. So how do you know if you have the golden ticket of pennies? Here's what to look for: a no mint mark. If there's no P, D, or S under the year, you're off to a good start. Check for unique characteristics. Does the coin look a little off? Maybe a smudged design or a faint outline where Lincoln's profile doesn't align perfectly. Use a magnifying glass or, better yet, get it appraised by a professional. Sometimes, these small errors are hard to spot with the naked eye, okay? But why would anyone pay $1.5 million for a penny? Great question. It's all about demand and rarity. Collectors are constantly on the hunt for coins that stand out, and when a coin like this comes up at an auction, the competition is fierce. Think of it like rare sneakers or limited edition Pokemon cards. The rarer it is, the more people are willing to shell out big bucks to own it. Now, before you run to eBay to list every penny you own, a quick heads up: not every 2015 no mint mark penny is worth millions. Most are regular circulation coins. But if you find one with those unique errors, jackpot! Alright, folks, let's wrap this up. The 2015 no mint mark Lincoln penny is proof that big treasures can come in small packages. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who loves a good underdog story, this tiny coin is a reminder to pay attention to the little things. Who knows? Your next $1 million find might be jingling in your pocket right now. But if you love this deep dive into rare coins and want to learn more about turning pocket change into life-changing cash, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another tip. I've got loads more coming your way about valuable coins, how to spot them, and even some wild stories from the world of collecting. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Now, go check your pockets and let me know in the comments if you find something exciting. Hey, what's up, coin lovers? If you're like me, you've probably sifted through your spare change before, hoping to strike gold. Maybe you found a few old pennies, and you thought, hey, that could be worth something. Well, buckle up, because today we're talking about one penny that's worth more than a week's worth of coffee, the 1972 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Yes, you heard that right, this little guy can fetch up to $1.60 million. Sounds like something straight out of a treasure hunt, right? But don't go running to your piggy bank just yet. We're diving into why this penny is so valuable and how you can spot one in your collection. So, grab your magnifying glass, check your change, and let's get started on this $1 million penny adventure, alright? Let's first talk about why a 1972 no mint mark penny is so valuable. I mean, it's just a penny, right? Wrong. It's not just any penny, it's a penny that slipped through the cracks of history, literally and figuratively. You see, the 1972 penny was supposed to have a mint mark on it, signifying where it was made, Denver, D, or Philadelphia, P. But somehow, some of these pennies came out of the Philadelphia Mint without any mint mark at all. No P, no D, just a plain, lonely penny. And guess what? That small little mistake turned out to be a big deal. These no mint mark pennies are rare, and in the world of coin collecting, rarity equals value. Now, I know what you're thinking. But it's just a tiny mistake. And you're absolutely right, but sometimes it's those tiny, quirky details that make a coin highly sought after. I have a funny story that might put this into perspective. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car, and I found a coin wedged between the seats. I was like, ooh, a shiny quarter, but no, it was a 1965 nickel. It had seen better days, scratched, dirty, and looking a little rough around the edges. But I didn't throw it away. I kept it, thinking it was worth more than face value just because it had been in my car for so long. Turns out, it wasn't a rare 1965 nickel, but the point is, sometimes it's not about the condition of the coin but its rarity. That's why this 1972 penny could be sitting somewhere in your collection right now, completely undervalued. Now, let's talk about what makes this penny fetch such a hefty price tag. You've got your collectors, your investors, and even your history buffs who are on the lookout for this penny. The 1972 no mint mark Lincoln penny can go for anywhere from $100,000 to $1.6 million, depending on its condition, rarity, and whether it's been authenticated. It's one of those rare finds that make you question all the pennies you've thrown away or spent without a second thought. If I had $1 for every penny I've given away without checking it, I'd probably be able to buy a few of these rare pennies myself. Let's talk about how to spot this bad boy. It's not like the 1972 penny is glowing in the dark or anything. It's a regular penny that's seen its fair share of wear and tear. But if you've got a sharp eye and a magnifying glass, you're in business. The key feature you're looking for is the missing mint mark. If you see a 1972 penny without a D or P, you might just be holding onto a gold mine. And if it's in really good condition, like uncirculated or near mint, then you're in for a windfall. Just imagine, you thought you were holding a regular penny, and boom, you've got a treasure in your hand. And now, let's talk about the other important factor, authentication. I mean, I'm all for a good treasure hunt, but you don't want to get caught up in a counterfeit. If you find this penny, get it checked by a professional. You'll want a reputable coin dealer or an official grading service to verify its authenticity and value. The last thing you want is to think you're sitting on a gold mine only to discover that your rare penny is worth exactly 1 cent. So, there you have it. The 1972 no mint mark Lincoln penny, it's rare, it's valuable, and it might just be sitting around in your collection or your spare change jar right now. A simple mistake at the mint turned into a huge opportunity for coin collectors. Who knew that a little error could lead to a coin worth millions? Before you go checking your pockets, though, remember, you've got to verify, authenticate, and take good care of these treasures if you want to cash in on that sweet, sweet value. And if you do find one of these bad boys, don't forget to tell your friends, but maybe not too loudly, or they might start scouring their own change. So, if you enjoyed this little journey into the world of rare coins, hit that subscribe button and give us a like. I've got plenty more coin tips, tricks, and stories where this one came from. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on the next hidden treasure. Stay tuned for more, and who knows? Maybe your next penny will make you a millionaire. Thanks for watching, and keep your coins close. You never know when one might just be worth a fortune. Alright, coin hunters, time to go dig through those pockets, jars, and couch cushions. And hey, don't forget to subscribe for more awesome tips on finding valuable coins, so you can start your own $1 million collection. Happy hunting, and I'll catch you in the next one. Hey everyone! So, here's a question for you. Have you ever found a penny on the ground and thought, hey, that's a lucky penny? Well, it turns out that sometimes those pennies are way more than just lucky, they can actually be worth a lot of money. Take the 1964 D Lincoln penny, for example. What if I told you that one of these little guys could be worth, wait for it, $1.7 million? Sounds crazy, right? But it's true. Stick with me, because today we're diving into why this penny is so valuable, how to spot one, and maybe even how you can cash in on it. Let's get started. Now, let's set the stage. The 1964 D Lincoln penny isn't just any old penny. It's a piece of history with a twist. In 1964, the U.S. Mint was in full production mode, cranking out coins left and right for the ever-growing American economy. The D Mint mark? That means it was made in Denver, which was one of the busiest mints back then. But here's where it gets interesting: a small percentage of these pennies were struck with a rare mistake, and those mistakes? Well, those mistakes are worth a fortune. This isn't your average penny. The 1964 D is one of the few coins that experienced a unique error in its minting process, which makes it highly sought after by collectors. We're talking about a particular die that caused some pennies to be struck with a distinct and super valuable feature. If you manage to find one of these, you might be holding a real treasure worth up to $1.70 million. Let me pause for a second and give you a little background. I remember a time when I found a penny in the parking lot of my local grocery store. I picked it up, because hey, a penny is a penny, right? Well, as it turns out, it was a 1964 D Lincoln penny, but it wasn't the rare version, and it was only worth face value. I thought I hit the jackpot, but instead, I ended up with just a good story for today's video. It goes to show you, sometimes things don't always pan out, but when they do, it's pretty incredible. So, what's the deal with the 1964 D penny that makes it worth so much money? The story behind its value has a lot to do with coin collectors and how they view rare minting errors. Mint errors can happen for a variety of reasons. Maybe the die was damaged, maybe the pressure was off during the minting process, who knows? But those tiny imperfections can make a huge difference in the coin's value, and this is where it gets exciting. If you have a 1964 D penny, you're going to want to inspect it carefully. The value comes from the fact that a small percentage of 1964 D pennies were struck with a doubled die, meaning the image of Abraham Lincoln and other details are slightly offset. It's like the coin got hit twice by the same die in a slightly different position. If you can spot one of these, you might just be sitting on a gold mine. You want to look for a few key characteristics to spot a valuable 1964 D penny. First, check Lincoln's bust on the front of the coin. If you see any doubling, especially on his cheek or the edge of his hair, that's your first clue. Next, look at the lettering around the coin. If it looks blurry or doubled, you're on the right track. The more noticeable the error, the higher the value. Let's talk numbers for a second. While most 1964 D pennies are worth only a couple of cents, unless you've been using a time machine to snag it back in 1964, the doubled die variety can go for $1.7 million. That's right, million with an M. So, if you find one of these pennies in your change jar or maybe even tucked away in your coin collection, you'll want to make sure you get it professionally appraised. There's no telling just how much it could be worth now. If you're thinking, okay, this is great and all, but how do I even know if I have one of these rare pennies? Let's break it down. You can't always tell just by looking at the coin with your naked eye. I mean, you're not going to magically spot a rare error penny while scrolling through TikTok, right? You might need to get some help from a professional coin dealer or even consider sending the coin to be graded by one of the major coin grading services. They'll give you an official report on its authenticity and condition, which is important because the better the condition, the more money it can fetch. And don't forget, the rarity of the error is huge too. The fewer pennies with the error in circulation, the higher the value. I know what you're probably thinking now. Okay, so I need to start checking all my pennies for this 1964 D error, right? Well, slow down, my friend. While it's definitely worth checking your pocket change from time to time, remember that not every 1964 D penny is a hidden gold mine. It's the rare doubled die variety that can bring in the big bucks. The key is patience and doing your research. And maybe investing in a good magnifying glass, for those really close-up moments when you feel like a coin detective. So, what's the takeaway from all this? Keep your eyes peeled for that 1964 D penny. It might look like just another coin in your collection, but if you find the rare double die error, you could be holding a penny worth over $1 million. Who knows? That next handful of loose change might be your ticket to something amazing, but here's the deal: even if you don't find $1 million penny, there's still a ton of value in collecting coins. The more you know about these little treasures, the better your chances of finding the next big thing. So, if you love the idea of finding coins worth money, or maybe just want to learn more about rare pennies and how to spot them, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I've got loads more tips and stories to share with you. Drop a like, comment below with your own coin hunting stories, I'd love to hear them, and hit that bell icon so you never miss another video. Hey everyone! Have you ever come across an old penny while cleaning out your couch cushions and thought, hey, I wonder if this is worth anything? Well, if you've got a 1969 D Lincoln penny lying around, you might want to hold on to it because it could be worth a lot more than you think. We're talking a mind-blowing $1.8 million. Yep, you heard that right, $1.8 million. So, stick around, because in this video, we're diving into the value of this rare coin, how to spot it, and why it's worth so much. Plus, I'll throw in a little story from my own experience that might just surprise you, alright, let's break this down. If you're a coin collector, or even if you just like rummaging through your pocket change, there's a good chance you've heard of the famous 1969 D Lincoln penny. But what makes this one so special? You see, most 1969 D pennies are just, well, pennies. They're the ones you find in your change jar, the ones you throw into the tip jar at your favorite coffee shop, or the ones you find stuck to the bottom of your sneakers. But there's a very small percentage of these pennies that are worth a lot of money. How much money? Oh, just $1.80 million. But why? Well, the reason this coin is worth so much is due to something called a double die error. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, double die? Is that some kind of weird coin disease? But nope, it's actually a printing error that happens when the coin's die is misaligned during the minting process. Basically, the image on the coin is stamped twice in slightly different positions, which gives the Lincoln on the front of the penny a weird, doubled look. It's a pretty rare occurrence, and it only happens in certain years, and, of course, 1969D is one of those years. So, why the 1969D specifically? Well, in 1969, the Denver Mint produced a limited number of these error pennies. And when you find one of these error coins, it's a real jackpot. In fact, the market value of the 1969D double die penny has been known to fetch up to $1.8 million, depending on the condition and whether it's been properly authenticated. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, only the needle is made of gold and the haystack is made of regular pennies. Now, I know what you're thinking, how do I know if my 1969D penny is one of these rare, super valuable coins? Great question. Well, the first step is to check for the telltale sign of the double die error. The most obvious feature you'll notice is the doubled lettering on the coin. Look at the word Liberty and In God We Trust on the obverse, that's the head side. If you see a double image or extra thickness in the letters, you might just have a winner on your hands. Of course, you'll also want to check the date. Look for the mint mark D on the reverse, that's the tail side. If everything lines up, you might just have a rare, valuable coin in your collection. Now, let's talk about condition. As with most coins, the better the condition, the higher the value. A well-preserved coin, say, one that's been sitting in a drawer for decades untouched, is worth much more than one that's been scratched up and passed around from hand to hand like a hot potato. You'll want to get your coin graded by a professional to confirm its authenticity and condition. The higher the grade, the higher the value. And trust me, you don't want to underestimate how much a well-graded coin can fetch. Speaking of grading, here's a little personal story for you. A few years ago, I thought I had struck gold when I found a rare coin in a box of change. I thought it was the coin to end all coins. I was convinced I had found the next big thing. I rushed to get it graded, daydreaming about how I would retire early. But when the results came back, it wasn't the jackpot I was hoping for. It was just a regular old coin, with a few scratches from years of circulation. Moral of the story? Always get your coins professionally graded if you're serious about their value. Trust me, it's worth the small investment to know what you really have. So, there you have it, the 1969 D Lincoln penny, worth up to $1.8 million. Who would have thought that a penny could be worth so much? It's like finding a gold mine in your pocket change. If you think you might have one of these rare coins, remember to check for the double die error, get it graded, and keep it safe. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive into valuable pennies, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more tips, tricks, and strategies for finding coins that could be worth big bucks. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Hit the bell icon so you get notified every time I post a new video. Hey there, coin lovers! Have you ever found something lying around your house, all dusty and forgotten, only to later discover that it's worth way more than you thought? Well, I've got a story for you that might just blow your mind. Picture this: you're digging through a box of old coins, and you pull out a penny. But not just any penny, a 1952 Abraham Lincoln penny. And guess what? That little piece of copper might be worth a cool $1.1 million. Yep, you heard that right, million. Stick around because today, we're diving into the fascinating world of this rare gem and how it's become a seriously valuable find. Alright, let's kick things off with a little history lesson. But don't worry, I promise it's not going to be as dry as a textbook. The 1952 Lincoln penny was minted in San Francisco, and like many coins that are worth a small fortune today, this one started out as just another penny in circulation. At the time, the US government was cranking out millions of these bad boys, so you can imagine that most of them are pretty much, well, not worth much more than their face value. However, a few of these pennies were made with slight imperfections or unique characteristics. And, in the world of coin collecting, these imperfections are what can make a coin worth a lot more than just a penny. The 1952 penny is a perfect example of that. It's not super rare, but there's a special subset of these coins that's in near perfect condition, and those are the ones that collectors are really after. If your 1952 Lincoln penny is one of these mint condition beauties, then you might just be sitting on a small fortune now. Let me take a moment to tell you about my first experience with finding a coin worth more than I thought. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my grandpa's old coin jar. You know the jar filled with pennies, nickels, and dimes that nobody ever bothered to organize. I came across a 1943 steel penny, and I was like, oh, cool, another old penny. But then I looked it up and realized it was worth over $200. To say I was shocked would be an understatement. I felt like I'd just won the lottery, only without the giant check. Moral of the story? Always check your coins, even the ones that look like they've seen better days. But back to the 1952 penny. You might be wondering what makes it so special? Well, besides the fact that it's from the 1950s, a decade that was just filled with nostalgia and rock and roll, the value lies in its condition, rarity, and demand among collectors. Coins that are in excellent condition, with sharp details and little to no wear, are called MS65 or higher. That's mint state 65 for those who are new to the coin world. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. If you find a 1952 in that kind of shape, you might be looking at that $1.1 million price tag, but before you get too excited, remember, the coin needs to be in exceptional condition to fetch that kind of value. Most of the 1952 pennies you'll find are probably worth just a few bucks, maybe $1 or $2 if they're in decent shape. But for those with a keen eye and a little luck on their side, finding one of these perfect condition 1952 pennies is a huge win. And now, how can you spot a 1952 penny that's worth big money? First, you'll want to check for a clear S mint mark. That S stands for San Francisco, where the penny was minted. If it's a blurry or faded mint mark, it won't be worth nearly as much. Next, inspect the coin for any signs of wear. The more wear and tear, the lower the value. You want one that has minimal signs of handling, so it looks almost like it just came off the minting press. And don't forget about the color. These pennies were originally copper, and while it's totally normal for them to have a reddish hue, the ones that are well preserved can still have a vibrant shine. A coin that's really been taken care of can sometimes have a glossy, almost golden look to it, which makes it even more valuable. But let's be real for a second, unless you're a coin expert or a professional numismatist, you're probably not going to spot a $1.1 million penny just by looking at it casually. You've got to do your homework, check with a coin dealer, or get it appraised by a professional before you start making any big plans for your newfound fortune. I mean, I've got a coin collection myself, but let's be honest, most of the stuff in there is worth about as much as a cup of coffee. Don't get too excited just yet, alright? So to wrap things up, if you've got a 1952 Lincoln penny lying around, it could be worth way more than just 1 cent. If you're lucky enough to have one in near perfect condition, you might be looking at a $1.1 million jackpot. But remember, coin collecting is all about patience, knowledge, and a little bit of luck. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of coins that could be worth a fortune, I've got plenty more tips and tricks up my sleeve. Whether it's spotting valuable pennies, nickels, or rare finds in your own collection, I'm here to help you navigate this exciting world of coin collecting. So, do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. You don't want to miss out on more cool content like this. And if you've got any questions, or if you found any rare coins yourself, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories.